In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at working with Ethereum accounts and transactions in a server-side context using Web3. A lot of the information out there about Web3 is built around working with tools like MetaMask. So this tutorial is going to dive into how do we do things on the server side when we don't have any tools like that to help us out. For the purposes of this tutorial, you're going to need to have node.js. So as you can see, I'm running version 11.9.0, so make sure you have something pretty close to that. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, I'm going to make a new directory called account example, and let's just npm install web3. When that finishes, we should be able to log into a node console by running node, and then we should be able to say const web3, let's actually make that a capital, equals require web3. Now if we enter web3, we should see a web3 object. In order for us to actually connect to the blockchain, we need to create an instance of web3. Our web3 instance will need to be configured to point at a particular node endpoint. So for our use case, we want to point at a test net so that we don't actually have any real money being transacted or potentially lost while we're testing and playing around with things. So I'm just going to pay something in and then I'll explain it a little bit. So first of all, we're setting up a new instance of Web3 like I mentioned, so we're calling new on the Web3 class basically that we brought in. And then we're giving it this new HTTP provider and we're pointing at ropsten.infura.io. So Ropsten is one of the Ethereum test networks, and you could download and run a node locally if you want to, and that is something you may want to consider doing. For ease and for being quick, we can just point at Infura, which is a company that has, they're behind MetaMask, and they have some various cloud nodes running essentially. So if we just hit enter here, and then type out Web3, we should see our actual instance of our Web3 connection.